got a soapbox I can stand upon, but God gave me a stage, a guitar, and a song. My daddy told me, son, don't you get involved.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Daphne, and today we're talking about my 9th week of pregnancy.
Paint a picture, let me set the scene. I know when I have children.
So full disclosure here, I'm a few days late in getting this update done. You will forgive me though, because last week we moved and got everything packed up and into the moving van, and let's see, I think we woke up at probably 5:30 or 6 to finish crazily packing everything up that we had forgotten to pack, or we just didn't have time to pack, and got the kids off to daycare. And then the moving truck showed up around 10, and then we moved all day, and I was tapped out at like 9 o'clock at night because I was just so dead tired. But Pete and the moving crew were still moving, and I think they got back at like 2 o'clock in the morning or something ridiculous like that. So it was a really long week. And then my mom flew in, and she's taking care of our girls this week because we are on vacation and we're on the Carnival Dream ship on a cruise right now we're in like the Gulf of Mexico or something, on our way to a few different destinations, and I'll talk about that in my next update. And so during this cruise I'm going to do my 9 and 10 week updates. So today is all about my 9th week, so I'll be talking about what happened last week and my symptoms and everything. So let's just jump right in. So symptom-wise, the 9th week was still pretty rough, and I was still having a lot of nausea and really relying on the Zofran that I have been taking, which I got a higher dose of the Zofran from my OB, and that has really helped. I have stopped taking the Reglan, which was really helping with my nausea, but the side effects were so severe that I just couldn't keep going with it. Basically, it felt like taking a Benadryl. If you have ever needed to take a Benadryl like in the middle of the day, it just it knocks you out. It makes you feel really tired, and it wasn't helping me get through the day really. So anyway, the Zofran is really what has been helping, and I relied on that really heavily last week during moving week, and it helped, but of course I was still throwing up every day and not feeling the best. So the tiredness is still there, and I'm not napping every day anymore like I was, which is great, but I feel like I could. If I had the time, I definitely could. But you know, it's just been everything has been so crazy. So yeah. And then what else? I think that's it. I feel like my symptoms have started lifting a little bit, which is pretty normal for me. Usually it's really bad right in the beginning, 6, 7, 8 weeks. And then by the time I hit 12 weeks, it's usually starting to feel a lot better. So I know I've only got maybe a couple of more weeks left to go of the bad symptoms, and then I should start feeling a lot better. One exciting thing that happened during my 9th week is that I finally got to go to the OB and see the baby for the first time. So that went really well. I met my OB. I was a little bit nervous because last time I had worked with a midwife and I loved her so much and she was the best, and so I was just nervous to go back to an OB. But the OB that we met, she was nice. I mean, she was fine. It didn't give me the same like familial feeling that I had with my midwife, but it was fine. Like, she was nice, it was fine, it was whatever. So she came in, she talked to me about my history and the fact that I've had a lot of complications and things like that. She said that during this COVID time, a lot of times she's allowing people to come in for video visits instead of real visits, but just due to my history, she wants me to actually physically come in and see her every few weeks, which is fine. I don't mind, especially because her office is really close to the new house, so that's cool. So I'll be seeing her again in, gosh, I think right around 14 weeks is when I go see her again, so that's great. And then we got scheduled for my big anatomy scan, which will be right around 20 weeks, so that's really exciting. And then I got to have a lovely pap smear, which every woman loves, especially a pregnant woman. But the thing was, she came in and she was like, hey, you know, I'm the OB and this is my intern. And in walks this like probably 22-year-old young man. And I'm like, oh man, come on. So he comes in, and then a nurse comes in, and my husband was there and I'm there. So there's 5 people standing here for this pap smear, and she like pulls out this really big like spotlight and like shines it. And I'm like, really? So I had a good audience for that. It was really great. But it went well, it went fine. And then she did, of course, the ultrasound. And of course, that is the best part of your first appointment. It is so cool. Baby's heartbeat was right around, I think it was 179. So that's pretty fast and can indicate female. Like I said before, we got our results from the sneak peek test, and I'm not going to say which way it was, but we told my OB that we had done the sneak peek test, and she said it's totally fake and it's not a real thing, and you can basically throw that out as being not a real thing. So now we're basically back to waiting, and I'm not going to trust the sneak peek either way. I will do an update video on the specific sneak peek that I used and whether or not it was correct. But anyway, she gave me the little test kit that we need to get my panorama test done, which is a genetic test that tests for a bunch of genetic issues that a baby can have. And it, you know, you also have the option to find out the gender of the baby. So as soon as we get back from the cruise, we can go do that. And then I think it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get that back. So we'll know in a few weeks, one way or the other, what the gender of the baby is. So all in all, it was a good week, my 9th week, and I enjoyed it. It was okay, other than the fact that we were moving and it was just kind of chaotic, but whatever. Now we're on vacation and all is well, and my mom is at home with our girls and starting to feel a little bit better, so life is good, and I'm excited. But anyway, that is enough about me. Let's talk a little bit about baby this week. So I will insert here a picture of our ultrasound, which is so exciting and obviously the best part of the 9th week. So here it is. I was so excited to get to see baby. It's obviously a cute picture. You can't see much. It's mostly just the head shape and the body shape, but it was cool to get to see baby for the first time and have that experience, and of course hear baby's heartbeat, which I had heard from home on our fetal Doppler several times already, but again, super cool to hear it and to have the OB confirm that everything looks good and sounds good. And yeah, so that was super amazing. This week, baby is 0.9 inches, so about 1 inch long, and the size of a cherry or a pecan. And of course, every week I say this, but baby is starting to get so big, and I can just picture, you know, actually holding a tiny human in my hand now, as opposed to a little dot or something like that. And baby is developing all kinds of really cool things. This week, baby has fingers and toes, not just little paddles anymore. And baby's eyes are really starting to develop. The eyelids are starting to develop and pretty soon are going to be fused shut for the next few months. Baby no longer has a tail, which is super cute. It's just a little bum down there. And let's see what else. The inner ear is developing and taste buds are developing. So pretty soon baby will start to get a taste of the things that I'm eating, which is pretty cool. Baby weighs about 0.07 ounces, which is very light, almost nothing, but will start putting on weight pretty soon after everything has fully developed. And we're getting close, So in this first trimester, all of the essential parts are developing and forming. And then by the end of this first trimester, everything is really in place, and then baby just needs to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, we're really getting there, and baby is starting to look more and more like a tiny human, which is so exciting. I think that's just about it for week 9. And I really appreciate you coming and watching our videos. I will see you next week, and actually it's the end of this week, on the cruise ship for my week 10 update. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm all for people following their dreams just right. Remember, life is more than fitting in your jeans. It's love and understanding, positivity. We could change this